Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stripping away all the hype and conducting a deep dive investigative review of a pretty bold new AI writing system. It's called Cozy Co-Author. Now, it claims it can literally take the dreaded blank page, pair you up with Claude AI, and turn just a single idea into a functioning Kindle royalty machine. So, if you've ever wanted to write a book but felt completely blocked by the whole process, well, stick around because we're going to unpack exactly how this system works mechanically and, more importantly, if it actually delivers the goods. We're kicking things off with what is arguably the product's most outrageous claim. A complete beginner allegedly used this system to write and publish a massive 236,000-word, 3-book series in exactly 13 days. Seriously, 13 days. And that's not just drafting, that is fully formatted, published, and live on Amazon. To put that into perspective for you, most traditional authors take 6 months to a year just to hammer out a single draft. So right out of the gate, we've got a productivity claim here that absolutely demands some serious scrutiny. Okay, so let's get into the real-world proof. The actual Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing royalties generated by this exact debut trilogy show numbers that are honestly refreshingly realistic. We're talking about $22.64 earned right off the bat. It's not some fake photoshopped screenshot of $1 million, right? It's a real, modest starting number from a brand new pen name. But here's the kicker. It proves the system produces actual books that Amazon accepts and that real people are actually reading. Section 1. Inside the two-files system. To understand how this is even possible, we really need to break down the actual framework. The whole thing basically bypasses generic prompting entirely. Instead, it revolves around dropping 2 very specific files into a Claude AI project and following 3 simple steps. First, you plan the architecture. The AI acts like a sounding board, asking you 14 guided questions to build out your story Bible and chapter outline. Second, Claude writes the book chapter by chapter while you act as the director. And finally, step 3, you take that finished manuscript and publish it directly to Amazon. Now here is where it gets really fascinating. The core engine making all of this work isn't just a simple prompt, it's a 780-line document designed specifically to hold Claude's voice steady. You know how normal AI kind of drifts off, forgets major plot points, or relies on super cheesy cliches? Well, this framework acts as rigid guardrails. It enforces prose discipline, it bans repetitive words, and it even uses a story state tracker, so, a character's eye color doesn't magically change from blue to brown by chapter 4. But wait, it's not just about the prompt files. You're also getting a massive 23-module guided training course that covers the entire business side of things. Because let's be real, a finished manuscript does exactly nothing sitting on your hard drive. This course bridges that gap. It walks you through the whole shebang, formatting in Kindle Create, designing AI book covers, and even post-launch marketing strategies. Section 2, does it read like AI? All right, all of this business stuff only matters if the final output is actually readable, right? We had to put this system to the test. Now, generic AI usually gives you this hollow, fragmented slop, choppy, one-word paragraphs trying way too hard to sound profound. But the Cozy Co-Author framework, it produces incredibly specific, grounded prose. We're talking about real character depth, like a woman arguing with her rosemary bush for 11 years. It's got genuine personality and feels remarkably human. In fact, get this, the creator ran a blind independent evaluation of the text through Google's Gemini. And Gemini actually concluded that it was highly unlikely the text was generated by AI. It called the prose stark, minimalist, and deeply restrained. Gemini noted that default language models almost always overuse flowery adjectives and over-explain emotions. But because the Cozy Co-Author framework is strictly engineered to ban those exact habits, it completely fooled a competing enterprise-grade AI into thinking a human wrote it. More importantly than an AI's opinion, though, we have proof from actual, real-world readers. An unprompted Amazon review from a reader who devoured the book on Kindle Unlimited proves the point perfectly. She critiques it exactly like a real reader, pointing out minor continuity issues, but totally praises the world building and the engaging characters. And she loved it so much she bought the physical copy just to reread it. Not once did she accuse the text of being AI-generated. Section 3. The Cozy Fantasy Gold Rush. So, you might be wondering, why is this system entirely laser-focused on the cozy fantasy genre right now? Well, books like Travis Baldrey's Legends and Lattes and Sarah Beth Thirst's The Spell Shop have basically kicked the door wide open. They've revealed a massive audience that is incredibly hungry for low-stakes, warm, and safe fantasy stories. The genre practically exploded in the early 2020s. Readers want stories about tea shops instead of bloody dragon battles, right? It's a rapidly growing market, and right now, reader demand is heavily outpacing the supply of authors who can actually write these books. And here is the crucial business point. This specific audience voraciously binges series on Kindle Unlimited. For those who don't know, Kindle Unlimited readers pay a flat monthly fee to Amazon to borrow as many books as they want. They aren't agonizing over spending $5 on book 2. They just click borrow. And Amazon pays you, the author, out of their global fund for every single page that reader flips. It literally pays to keep them reading. Because of that, this system is strategically built from the ground up for series creation. The KDP data clearly tracks readers moving right through the funnel, finishing book 1 and immediately diving straight into book 2, and then book 3. By publishing a trilogy rather than just a standalone novel, you are capturing those late-night binge readers and effectively tripling the potential royalty payout for every single customer you bring in. Section 4. Pros, cons, and cost. Okay, let's be totally objective here and weigh the realities. While the system offers an incredibly beginner-friendly, complete publishing pipeline, it is absolutely not a magic button. You still have to put in the work for a final polish pass. You are essentially acting as the editor, reading through what Claude writes to make sure it flows perfectly. Plus, if you rely purely on the free version of Claude, you're going to hit usage limits. It's designed to work in sessions, so you'll write a few chapters, get timed out, take a break, and come back later. Now, as for the cost, for the launch week, the entire system, which includes the 780-line framework files and the complete 23-module training course, is a one-time fee of just $17. That's it. There are no sneaky ongoing subscriptions to the creator or hidden software fees. Just a single $17 entry point to get the prompt engineering and the full business course. Section 5, the final verdict. So, what's our final verdict? Well, while Cozy Co-Author is absolutely not a get-rich-quick scheme, the incredibly low cost, the robust framework, and the undeniable proof of quality make it a really compelling investment for anyone wanting to build a real KDP business. Remember that initial $22 royalty we talked about? Well, the creator reinvested some early earnings into basic promotion, and that grew to over $173 across the trilogy. Building a business takes time and consistency, for sure, but this framework effectively completely eliminates the biggest barrier to entry, staring at a blank page. So I'll leave you with this. If you have always wanted to tap into the lucrative fiction market but felt totally intimidated by the writing process, is it time to let an AI framework handle the heavy lifting? It's a fascinating look at where publishing is heading, merging human taste and direction with the sheer speed and endurance of AI. Just imagine what story you might tell if the actual typing was taken care of for you. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.